Howdy, folks. Howdy. I'm Black Dragon, and welcome to another edition of Black Dragon Biker News Network. Biker news you can trust. Biker news you can use. Biker views and biker news. And I'd just like to thank you all for tuning in this morning from wherever it is in the world that you happen to be. Thursday! Yeah. Well, anyway, if this is the first time you guys are tuning in, we do biker news Monday through Friday. We have videos up every single solitary day. Yeah. And we just hope you guys join in, you know. Like, share, and subscribe. And, hang out with us while we do this thing. All right? Is that cool? And I appreciate you guys. Thank you for joining the show. I practiced that. I did. Look here, man. We're going to do some things this morning. Let's see. What are we going to do? One, can a motorcycle club block an intersection to stay together? We're going to look at what the law says about that. Two, more on the unbelievable acquittal of the New Hampshire truck driver who killed 7 bikers and was acquitted for that. We're going to look a little more at that. 3, Facebook is being used to prosecute a mother and her daughter about an abortion that the daughter allegedly had. And what is that to do with biker news, one might ask? Well, we're going to think about how that Facebook is being used and how it could be used against you. And 4, Secret Service personnel are going to have their the Secret Service personnel will have their personal phones confiscated or whatever to be used in a criminal investigation against them. Interesting. We'll talk about that. And finally, why Republicans shouldn't trust the FBI. That should be interesting. Don't you think? So let's turn the chat light on. Just get the chat line turned right on. New comments will display to the right of me. And they should be going up now. Chucky Crossrider down in South Africa says, we only block intersections for funerals. Yeah, well, Chucky, not here, bro. We block intersections because we damn feel like it. All right. Let me get over here to this screen over here. Where's that screen at? Over here. And we'll bring up the first story. So this was sent to me by my submarine brother, Bolo, who, sent this to me. And when you guys send me stories, I look them up, and a lot of times I report on them. So a lot of the stuff we do comes from y'all. Okay? So this one came from y'all. And I appreciate this. I show my appreciation by covering the story. So in the Bellingham Herald, and I don't know where Bellingham is. Do you? Can a motorcycle group block an intersection to stay together? Here's what the law says. What's so cool about this is a story written by somebody who is completely not a biker at all. They're on the outside looking in. And it's always interesting to see how civilians look at us and think about us when they see us out there. So that whenever you're showing your ass, you can see how they see you. And always remember that they outnumber us and they are the voters. So you should really be concerned a little bit about what they think. I don't care what they think. Well, they can vote your behind out of existence. Okay. So we try to care about what they say, what they think a little bit. All right. So question, he starts his article off. I recently ran into a horde of what are they trying to throw stuff in my don't throw stuff in my thing. I recently ran into a horde of motorcyclists, and by horde, I'm talking 50 to 60. That's what they think of us. Hordes. 50 or 60 of us, we look like a horde to them. So I ran into 50 or 60 of them at cross streets. One motorcycle would block the intersection and the rest would drive through. Red lights ignored. And so that is kind of like how they see us. Like, those guys just went through the red lights. Jim Slayer said, blocking intersections is totally not legal in Oklahoma. Some of us do it anyway because we feel like it. Oh, yeah. Somebody told me Bellingham is in Washington State. You see, my people know everything. And that's why I have you guys, because you know everything. So somebody said, wow, another day of living. That's nice. Morning, WeMC family. Glad to see you guys all here. So he says, what is the police ruling on this? Answer, I wonder. Do groups of motorcyclists like being referred to as a horde? No. Or do you? He said that the one sure exception to this is a motorcycle club called the Horde. I did not know there was the Horde MC. Wow. So they obviously like being referred to as a horde. They probably would be mad. Don't call us a horde. What? Your name is Horde MC. That's right. Call us the Horde MC, but do not call us a horde. All right. So anyway, he says, I wonder if motorcyclists like being called a horde, except for the exception being the motorcycle club called the Horde MC. In one sense, it's the right word. The dictionary definition includes a large group, a nomadic group, and a moving pack of animals, assuming we include humans as animals. However, horde has a sense of chaos attached to it. And you know a real MC doesn't ride chaotically. But he doesn't know that. He says horde has a sense of chaos attached to it, as in a horde of stampeding bulls or a horde of attacking zombies. Group motorcycle rides, when done properly, work hard to avoid chaos. That's because we believe motorcycles are poetry in motion. To me, MC means move the crowd. And when the guy first said that in his rap, he didn't even know. He thought he was talking about MCs on the microphone. And we mean MCs on that steel. MC means move the crowd in absolute perfect perfection. Not hoardish like at all, which that's a different horde. Hoardish is a hoarder, which is not the same thing as a horde. Moving along. I'm not a motorcycle rider, so skill-wise, what I know is secondhand information. That's right, buddy. It's absolutely secondhand. But what I know is secondhand information from the experts that actually ride. They'll tell you that it takes proficiency and practice to ride well. That's true. Riding a motorcycle poses a much greater technical challenge than driving a car, and the consequences of error are more severe. That's true. Outside a couple of exceptions, the law doesn't grant any group of road users a blanket right to keep their group together while traveling, unless you have an event permit or are honoring the deceased. All traffic laws apply. I can't find a law that says, oh, there's 50 of you. Go ahead and block the intersection so you can stay together. He hasn't found a law that says that. Actually, it's the opposite. The law states that vehicles in a caravan or motorcade shall allow sufficient space between each such vehicle to enable any other vehicle to enter the space without danger, like getting your ass kicked for trying to break in between me and my brothers and as we're riding down the road. But the law says that we can't do that. We have to actually leave enough space that you can break into the pack. I mean, you've lost your mind. The law states that to enable any other vehicle, to enter without danger. The one exception without a permit is funeral processions. That's the one time that you don't have to have a permit to keep people from butting into your funeral procession. For a big group ride, he says, the ride organizer could apply for an event permit and arrange for traffic control at each intersection the ride passes through. You'll often see that happen at running and cycle events, running events and cycling events, I guess bicycles or something. Those officers who stop traffic to allow runners or riders through an intersection are hired by the event organizer. Admittedly, that'll be trickier for a motorcycle ride. At a marathon, the planners have a course maximum of 26 miles. A motorcycle ride would cover that while just getting warmed up. For most rides, a group ride organizer isn't going to be applying for any permits. No, that's the road captain who will tell you when kickstands are up and get your butt in line and have your gas and be ready to roll. But he doesn't know that. Instead of blocking intersections, organizers should have a plan to regroup if riders get separated. Well, actually, the road captain does have that. It's called a fine. Get separated from the pack, and I will fine your ass. Period. End of story. Right? But anyway, he believes that the road organizer should have a plan to regroup the riders if they get separated. Apologies to riders who love big groups, but from a safety perspective, it's not a great idea. That could be true. Group rides work best when you're traveling with a handful of people you know and trust. That's absolutely true. The best advice seems to hover around no more than 7 riders in a group. At that size, you don't need to have anyone blocking the intersection for you. Besides not getting through traffic lights together, giant group rides have other challenges. Inevitably, the group will have a mix of rider skills and priorities. You might practice what you've learned, but you can't control the person who outrides their skill, either because they're novice or because their ego is stepping in front of their sense. Good sense, he's probably meant to say. But in the motorcycle club, it's a little different, friend. In the MC, a traditional MC, we train the riders before they ever get to see a pack. They are trained specifically by the road captain, taught, and by the time they get to ride in our pack, they're well trained and prepared. The problem is when you guys like to do those runs with you like to do those runs with those charity runs and stuff you guys like to do. And when you do those stupid charity runs and you mix in with other bikes and other packs, this is something my club doesn't do. We ride together. We'll ride in the front. We'll ride in the back. We'll get there a little later. Well, you ain't ever been in our pack. You ain't fixing to step your butt in it unless, like, I know you come from a hard riding MC. Period, bro. End of story. But this guy does make some a valid point or two here. We got to give him his valid point or two. Let me see. What else does he say? He wants us only to ride in groups of 7. And he says that you can't, if you're riding in these other big groups, but he doesn't know much about motorcycle clubs. We train to ride together, but he does make good sense about riding with big groups of people you don't know. The success and safety of a group ride depends not only on the skill of the riders, but also on the ride organizer, but also on the ride organizer. And he's right about that. The success of the pack rolling is really the responsibility of the road captain, who is our ride organizer, just in case you didn't know. If you're invited to join a big ride that doesn't include a pre-ride meeting to lay out the expectations and go over communication strategies, that's a clue. This guy, this novice is more right than he knows, because our road captain always has a pre-ride uh, uh, meeting, always, and a prayer. We also pray before we roll. We get together and hold hands. We hold hands and stuff like girls. We do, and we pray, dear God. We want to make sure that those who have been drinking or whatever are well. God, please allow us to get there on time. Get us there safely, Lord. Please, if you don't mind. Thank you, Jesus, or whomever it is that you pray to, because we want to get there. And we do have a pre-ride meeting and things like that. These are important things. He also says if you're invited, let me see. That's hold on, let me see. If you're that's a clue. He said that's a clue. As a rider, it's up to you to choose who you want to ride with. Choose wisely so that each ride will be followed by another one, and I should say another successful one. So I think this was a good article by our guy over there, by Doug Dahl, courtesy of the Bellingham Herald. He wrote a good article, and this right here is a video they put out. Here's some things you should know, they said. I thought this was interesting, so let's take a look at it real quick here. Whoa, they tried to steal it with a commercial. They always try that. And it will be over in just a second here. Well, this is a long one. They didn't even let you opt out of it. Okay, here we go. Boom. Here's some things you should know. To truly enjoy the freedom that motorcycles offer, riders should consider it not a hobby but a craft and become excellent at it. Motorcycles account for 3% of registered vehicles in Washington, but they're involved in 15% of the total traffic fatalities. In 75% of motorcyclists involved crashes, the rider is at fault, they say. 44% of motorcyclist fatalities involve speeding. In 95% of the crashes, the motorcyclist was speeding. 59% of motorcycle fatalities involve impairment. In 93% of the crashes, the motorcyclist was impaired. Per vehicle mile traveled, motorcyclists are 29 times more likely than passenger vehicle occupants to die in a crash. Young riders, novice riders, and returning riders of all ages are at elevated risk of crashing due to lack of experience. Riders create their own safety by wearing helmets and protective gear, riding sober at safe speeds, and developing skills. Training is available at many locations around the state. Find the closest training at itsafineline.com. There you go, man. There you go. That was interesting information. I didn't see where any of that was backed up. Like, where did they get that from? but hey, Beardwing, the befuddled, said it depends on the city and state culture. Unfortunately, in Texas, folks are usually patient and will wait for large groups. In Louisiana, not so much. It does depend on where you are, how humble and good the people are to you, So we'll go to the next story. But I thought that was cool. I thought that was really cool. Didn't you guys think that was cool? So we got to thank Bolo, although I don't see Bolo on here this morning. So we cover his story and he ain't even here. Like, what is that? 2 lanes should be mandatory minimum for all roads. We can afford it. Absolutely. So that was that story. Let's see. What's our next? Okay. Our next story, we were looking at the acquittal of the man who ran over the bikers. And I thought this was interesting because I got a lot of feedback on this, and a lot of people are really hurt. Um, a lot of people really hurt about this. Oh, somebody told me that Bolo was here. Okay. But he didn't stay for his whole story. Oh, wait. Is that Bolo right there talking to me? I'm picking on him and he's here. I apologize. I'm here, Black Dragon. Thanks for covering the story. Yeah, man, that was for you. Don't be not here. Do not be not here. Legal experts react to the acquittal of the Massachusetts. I said New Hampshire. I guess he was a Massachusetts truck driver. I need to go change the title of my story. But legal experts react to the acquittal of a Massachusetts truck driver involved in the crash that killed 7 motorcyclists. Hey, let me ask, can any of you guys actually spell Massachusetts? Because I cannot. I tried many times, and I just can't spell Massachusetts, probably because I still want to call it Massachusetts, as in 2 sets of twins. Like, who wouldn't want to date that? Massa, 2 sets of twins. I'd like that. Someone says, thank you, everyone. Yeah, I'm 51. My wife passed a couple of years ago. My children are grown. I've had my long dream of living from my motorcycle travel and make videos of places I go and people I meet. Well, absolutely. That is a great dream. Are people saying happy birthday to you, or what are we saying to Edward? Somebody catch me up on that. Send me a text message. Legal experts react to the acquittal of Massachusetts truck driver involved in a crash that killed 7 motorcyclists. So I guess this is him crying at the moment he was found not guilty. Is that what that is? Vladimir Zukowski reacted as he was found not guilty in the deaths of 7 motorcycle club members in 2019. And I suppose I would cry too, because if you think about this guy's goose was cooked in terms of all social media, everybody had written him off. But he had that attorney somewhere who knew what he was doing. That might be the attorney you want to hire if you've got something against you and it's looking real bad. So during the opening statements in the trial of Vladimir Zukowski, the jury heard that he had ingested drugs, and the president of the Jarheads Motorcycle Club had been drinking beer before the June 2019 crash, in which he and 6 other members were killed. But by the time the jurors began deliberations on Tuesday, the judge had dismissed charges that Zukowski, 26, was intoxicated at the time of the crash, and instructed them not to consider evidence about his drug consumption or possible impairment. So now we know. Now we know why the fact that he took drugs and stuff and admitted to it didn't cause him to be incarcerated or found guilty for that. Because the judge removed those charges. So now we know. Well, what on earth would cause the judge to remove those charges is the next question, I think. A few hours later, the jury acquitted the commercial truck driver, in the head-on collision, stirring outrage and placing scrutiny upon that Superior Court judge, Mr. Peter H. Bornstein, on his ruling that there was simply insufficient evidence for a jury to find Zukowski was impaired by drugs he consumed roughly 10 and a half hours before the crash. On Wednesday, legal specialists backed Bornstein's finding. So they went and asked some legal specialists, was the judge right in removing those charges? That's a rational decision, said Buzz Schur, a professor at the University of New Hampshire's Franklin Pierce School of Law. Think about it. If you got drunk and went to bed at midnight, what was your intoxication level at 10:30 a.m. the next day? If you think about it in that way, it makes a lot of sense that he would exclude it. On the morning of June 21st, 2019's crash, Zukowski consumed heroin that morning, fentanyl that morning, and cocaine that morning at his home in West Springfield, Massachusetts that morning, 10 and a half hours before the crash. Then he went to work driving a truck to New York and New Hampshire for Westfield Transport, prosecutors said. Zukowski's lawyer acknowledged his drug consumption but maintained there was no evidence that he was impaired when he crashed around 6:30 p.m. His defense centered on evidence that the motorcyclist leading the pack, Mr. Albert Mazza Jr., 59, had been drinking himself, drinking beer before getting on the road and lost control of his motorcycle. I think they said specifically that he slid out in front of Zukowski in that curve, causing the collision. Mazza's blood alcohol level was 0.135, which is well over the driving limit of 0.08, which it is in most places. It used to be 1.0, or didn't it used to be 1.0? And some places it's 0.05, but 0.08 is mostly what it is around the country, according to court testimony. So he had a 0.135, which is well over the 0.08. It's a lot over it. Manny Ribeiro, a Pembroke resident who was riding alongside Mazza before the crash, said Wednesday, he can't make any sense of why the jury could consider his friend's alcohol consumption, but not Zukowski's drug use. That is, that's a lot. So you took all these drugs, and we can't consider you, but we can consider his drug use. That's a lot. And Ribeiro says, I can't understand. It doesn't seem to mesh. Doesn't seem to make sense. But that is what happened. Oh, why is my dog standing by the door? He's got to go out. So moving on. I hope he can wait. So there's no accountability here. Nothing. Zero. 7 people died, and no one is going to be accountable except for Mazza. It's his fault. Well, it's not, said Ribeiro, who became president of the motorcycle club after Mazza died. He is no longer a member of the group made up of Marine veterans. So for some reason, after he became president, now he's no longer in the motorcycle club. But he said, it's all his fault. He's the only one held accountable. He's dead and gone. It's all his fault. Well, it's not. Ribeiro said he was subpoenaed as a witness, but was not even called to testify. He was in Coos County Superior Court in Lancaster, New Hampshire, Tuesday afternoon when Zukowski was acquitted. Ribeiro said, I'm still in shock. During closing arguments, Zukowski's lawyers said prosecutors were ignoring the findings a New Hampshire State Police Accident Reconstruction Unit that contradicted the government's theory that Zukowski crossed into the oncoming lane. A defense expert testified that the crash happened on the center line and would have occurred even if the truck had been in the middle of its lane because Mazza's motorcycle was heading in that direction. So they argued that no, he never crossed the white line, that it actually happened on the line. Testimony from 2 members of that reconstruction team was key to the verdict, legal experts said. Patricia M. LaFrance, a former New Hampshire prosecutor, said by email that members of an accident reconstruction team are typically called to testify by prosecutors. In this case, they were called by the defense. Of course, because the defense felt like they had the upper hand in that. The fact that the state did not call them is significant because it means they did not have the testimony that would help the state prove its case, said LaFrance, a partner at the Black Law Group in Nashua, New Hampshire. Zukowski's public defenders declined to comment on Wednesday. Was he actually represented by public defenders? Wow. Michael J. E. Oh my goodness. Wow. I'm just going to murder this name. Michael J. Iacopino. Michael J. Iacopino, a Manchester, New Hampshire criminal lawyer and president of the board of directors for the state's nonprofit Defender program, said the verdict demonstrates the importance of effective representation for indigent defendants. Yeah, you got a good law team for free there, my bro. In a lot of places, they don't have well trained public defenders. Mr. Zukowski would be serving a life sentence right now. But in our case, it's a little different. I guess that's what he was. I guess that's what he was saying. Because he's really got his chest poked out real hard. The verdict was at odds with findings from the National Transportation Safety Board, which in 2020 concluded that Zukowski's drug use was the probable cause of him crossing the center line of the highway and causing the collision. That's what the National Transportation Safety Board said. But this other reconstruction team said he never crossed that line. That's interesting when you have two safety organizations that don't agree. And if you guys remember watching that, if you guys ever watch the show, what is it? That old show, they just remade it, the one where they reconstruct all the murders and stuff. Oh my goodness, the one that's been on forever. And they just started getting new ones of them now. Forensic Files, is that what it's called? And in that one, there was the police officer that they said ran over the line and killed some other cops coming the wrong way. And he was actually found guilty of negligent homicide and all these things. And they got a whole different team of people who came in and did the reconstruction. And they basically found against the transportation board, and he was later acquitted, and his case was overturned. So that's interesting when they have two of these guys that kind of fight with each other. It's interesting to see which side the jury will believe. And obviously the jury believed the other safety group. The verdict was, okay, so the board concluded that while some of the motorcyclists were impaired, and this is the National Safety Transportation Board concluded that while some of the motorcyclists were impaired by alcohol, their intoxication didn't cause the crash. So it looks like a whole bunch of people were impaired, and not just Zukowski. As it said, some of the motorcyclists were impaired by alcohol, but their intoxication didn't cause the crash. That's what the National Highway Transportation Safety Board said. But LaFrance said quashing the evidence of Zukowski's drug use and dropping the impaired driving charges wasn't surprising. LaFrance cited the state's lack of scientific evidence suggesting Zukowski was impaired at the time of the crash, as well as the admissions that he had consumed drugs a lot earlier in the day, which he admitted to. In this situation, it was the judge's conclusion that the state did not present enough evidence to prove that Zukowski was impaired at the time of the crash, he said. Mark J. Garagos, a Los Angeles criminal defense lawyer, said the judge's decision appeared to be correct based on the time that elapsed between the investigation and the time of the observations of law enforcement officers who met the accused immediately after the crash and didn't detect impairment. Schur said the verdict doesn't necessarily mean jurors fully believe the testimony about Mazza. He said, if it's, hey, we're conflicted whether to believe this person or where the lead motorcyclist was, or to believe that person about it, they've got to acquit him. If they are conflicted, they must acquit. If conflict, you must acquit. After the acquittal, Zukowski was taken into custody of the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. Isn't that ICE? Yeah. An agency spokesperson said Um, well, something just happened. It jumped on me. Yeah, Zukowski has a native of. Okay, it jumped. So let me read it again. After his acquittal, Zukowski was taken into custody of the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. An agency spokesman said, a native of Ukraine, Zukowski has permanent resident status in the United States, although federal officials filed a detainer for his deportation in 2019, citing his previous convictions in unrelated criminal cases. In March, the federal government made the Ukrainian nationals. In March, federal government made man. I can't. What's the hell? In March, the federal government made Ukrainian nationals eligible for temporary protected status to shield them from deportation in light of Russia's invasion of the Ukraine. So I don't know. Maybe because of the war, they might not send him back. Although he's not been a very good boy here, but they absolutely cleaned his butt up. He looks just a million times better than when we first saw him, which is probably part of that. We will continue this. Let me take a real quick commercial break, for a second, to let this damn dog out before he does something that I will regret. I shall be right back. Whoa. That button didn't work. Oh, yes, it did. Let me do this, and the button will work just fine. There we go. And then we'll do. Okay, dog, I'm coming. Hold on. Stop crying. Let me do this right here. Boom. Okay, now.
The Prospects Bible to learn how to join a motorcycle club. It has been an Amazon #1 bestseller for the past 7 years and is required reading for over 3,000 motorcycle clubs worldwide. This book is a must-have for new people venturing onto the motorcycle club set. It will teach you how to prepare yourself for service to the motorcycle club nation and show you how to qualify a motorcycle club to be worthy of your service. Available on Amazon, Kindle, and for order at your local bookstore. Get your autographed copy at blackdragonsgear.com. Be the best motorcycle club prospect you can be. Get the book.
All right, I'm back. What the hell was that music? Where did that come from? That had to be this thing taking over. Yeah, that's what it was. Boy. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna get one of those strikes. You used our music. No, I didn't. You snuck your music in. Let's see. Moving on. Yeah, so so what I wanted to talk about also was I have found this thing here that talked about his intoxication. Yeah. Yeah. So let's look at this. This was interesting that I found that talked about his intoxication during that time. Let's turn the chat back on. Yeah, let's go here real quick. So I found this. I'm going to show you, give you guys these links, but I found this too. So I just got to go find where that damn music is at. Oh, let's see. Is this it? Yeah, there it is. Okay. Got it. All right. Now,
if you want to take your mask off, it's whatever you're comfortable with. If you want to leave a mask on, we just ask. There's clear masks right there to swap out that for it.
I can take it off.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So can you raise your right hand?
Got too many
You swear to
screens
tell
open.
the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under the pains and penalties of perjury.
I do.
Okay, please have a seat.
Is that it? No, that's not it.
That crash, it
Yeah, that's
Can
it.
you
is so critical
state
to
and
both
spell
sides.
your
They
last name
take
for the
over your
record,
whole
please?
computer, like whenever you
All right,
highlight
I'm
it,
Miranda
just
Thompson.
starts talking.
And the last name is
Ready for you. Here
THOMPSON.
we go.
Thank you very much. And where are you from, Ms. Thompson?
I am from Manchester, New Hampshire.
Vladimir
Oh, you live
Zukovsky was
For-
impaired at the time of that crash is so critical to both sides in this case. Today, the state called on a forensic toxicologist from Pennsylvania to testify about the original lab results on Zukovsky's blood in June of 2019. She says they found levels of opioids below the normal reporting level, but that the drugs could affect the ability for a person to operate a motor vehicle. The defense questioned whether those low levels could have been a factor in the crash.
Just the presence of these substances alone in a potent drug does not use the
Correct.
and that shows more analysis that some more information is needed to make that.
Yeah, in the totality of circumstances.
A firefighter who says he treated Zukovsky for a drug overdose in Massachusetts 1 month prior to the Randolph crash. He also took the stand. We'll hear from him tonight at 6. In the studio, Jamie Staten, News 9.
So as you can see,
Because I'm too short.
that's very interesting. Oh wow, they don't even let you turn it off. Okay, let me get back to me.
All right, sorry about that. We have that screen out. of the
So
way
I
now.
found this thing
So
that
you were saying you're from Manchester, and how long have you lived in Manchester?
actually you can go
3 years.
see every one of these
And
days.
is that where you were living
their
then in
trial.
June of 2019?
Yes.
And I'm going to put this up.
And what's
Okay,
your
let me
profession?
show you this here.
I am
So,
IT support.
Every single one of the
Who are you IT
days
support for?
of the trial,
a
you can go
nonprofit
see.
out
This
of
is an
Nashua.
hour
Now,
and
I want to take you back
59
to
minutes, an hour
Friday,
and something.
June
This thing
21st,
is.
2019.
And so this is like day one of the testimony. And you can actually go see every single day of the testimony. Oh, let's just take over your computer. So
Specifically, I want to talk about.
I'm going to have
about
these links
6:30
up for you.
that evening, okay? Where were you
so you
driving
can
from
go
that time?
here.
We are
and,
heading
like, they
back
got
to
every
our
single
cabin
day of
in
the
Jefferson.
trial. Is
And you
this where
said
it
we,
is?
who was with you?
So I have that link up for
My
you.
grandma,
You can just
my
go see every
aunt,
day. And
and
if
my
you want to
mom.
watch the
Was
whole
this just
trial or watch
friendly
hours and
vacation
hours
type
of the
trip?
trial,
It was girls' weekend.
it's all there for you to see
And as you're driving along too, did you
in
end up
these
running
links.
into any
So
traffic?
it's really kind of crazy. Here you
Yes.
go right here.
So all of a sudden, traffic was
WMR.com.
flowing very nicely, and all of a sudden it stopped
WMUR.com.
around 6:30ish.
Just take this and copy
Yeah.
it now, so I
And
can
did
put
you
this
stay in your
link
car? Did you get out?
in the description for you. But
my mom and
look,
I got
day
out
5 of testimony, part
because,
1, 2, 3, and 4.
we were
Day
wondering what was
4
going on and why
testimony.
everything just stopped.
There's 6 parts.
See if
Day 3 of
we can see
testimony,
what was
4 parts. Day
ahead
2,
of us.
all the way down to day
We started
1.
walking up,
Opening
and
statements
all
of
of a
the
sudden we saw
prosecution
some
and
smoke
defense.
on the left
Jury
of us.
instructions.
And
just the whole damn thing.
when we were walking up, somebody was like, came running
and all
down
the people
and
that
said,
were involved
does
in the
anybody have any
trial,
medical
Michael
attention
Ferrazzi,
and
Albert
medical
Mazza,
help?
all these
And
must be
my
like
mom's a
1, 2,
medical
3,
assistant,
4,
and I
5,
had
6.
some medical training, so we decided to go up
I
to see
would
what's
have
going on.
thought these might be the
And
people
what
who
did you see
died,
when you got up there?
which
We
they
went
I
over the
believe
hill.
are.
We ended up
And then you
seeing
have previous trial
from
coverage,
dead bodies to
police
debris
interview
everywhere,
with the man
and people
accused of causing
on the side.
the crash that killed
like
7. This is his interview when the
semi-harmed,
police
but
actually interviewed
just a little
him.
bit shooken.
The
on it.
first responders testify. So it's all here
What type of
for you to see over at WMR.
Honestly,
don't
no,
steal my
look minor.
computer.
They didn't look
Go.
like they were other people.
So it's all there.
They were on the
I
phone
have the
calling
link in the
their
description,
family.
and you can
And how long were you
go
on the
look
scene?
at it all. It's
Maybe
kind of
6 minutes or so.
And when you were there, were the fire trucks and ambulances there yet?
No.
but you can see it all and see how they came up with the
Did you
decisions
take
that
any
they came up
photographs or
with.
videos or document the scene?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so
I'm going to show you go through some photographs here.
the next thing I wanted to
Exhibits
talk about
136 through state
was
151 and then the last one.
okay. So Facebook is being used
We dim that light.
to go after a mother and her daughter. Facebook used to prosecute
The jury scene, or do we-
mother and daughter.
You also have pictures as well.
spell daughter right,
I
don't
think
we?
everyone's right. All right, so is this one of the photographs that you took?
There we go.
Okay.
So
we can see
Facebook data is being used to prosecute a Nebraska mother and her daughter.
So I took this
I
picture
think this is
because
interesting for
out of everybody
bikers when
on
I
the
first
scene,
saw
there's
this.
one
So,
individual that stood out to me.
I don't know the whole story, but
That's that person.
I was looking at this the other day, and let's see. So Facebook data used to prosecute Nebraska mother and daughter after alleged abortion. Evidence against a Norfolk, Nebraska mother and her teen
Yes.
in a case alleging an illegal abortion. The thing about this is police got a statement from somebody, and they were told to, well, what's going on?
So as we move forward, again, it's difficult to see here. Maybe we could.
No, there should be no video playing.
Outside the door, click that light, there you go.
That's perfect.
Really?
And so this is
How about that? Is it off now? Shouldn't be on anymore. Everything should be off now. Has the audio stopped?
It's off. We can hang up.
All right, great. Thanks. Man, they're going to be heard no matter what. Like, it just turned itself back on. I just turned it off, and it's still showing as on. That is crazy. Oh, that's because there's 3 on. Okay, now they're all off. No, there's one more. I just turned all the audio off, so you guys shouldn't hear anything but me. My God, this is sickening. Well, I know what to do. Just kill that whole screen. How about that? Boom. Now there shouldn't be any audio. Oh, now we got something else going on. There we go. All right. Now, so this mother here, so the way I understand it is somebody called or complained and told them to check the person's Facebook page out. And so this is not a biker story, so I haven't gone deeply into it. But as I understand it, the Facebook, which is now, I guess, called Meta, they said the search warrant they received in June before the Roe reversal did not mention abortion, but this is now what it's being used for. So the reason I talk about this is you're going to see this more and more. And what I see with motorcycle clubs, especially the 1%er variants, is you guys do so much dumb shit on Facebook, like threatening people and telling people you're going to get them and you better do this if you don't follow MC protocol and all this old kind of stuff. All this patch policing stuff, especially on social media, this is where it's going to end up. You can see it in these stories. They're getting ready to put a whole mother and her daughter in jail for Facebook messages that they shared between each other. They actually sent a search warrant, and Facebook can say all this. Oh, we didn't know they were talking about abortion. They can say all that they want to say. The bottom line is they're collecting information on you about things you say and what you do, and they're keeping that information. They're holding that information. They're keeping that information forever. This whole idea of whatever you say will live against you for the rest of your entire life, it doesn't happen like that in the UK. In the UK, there's a time limit, and SHIT must come down. Not over here. They want to use what you said when you were 11 against you when you get 46. Oh, he was against gay people back when he was 18. Like when they came out against that one comedian that got to do the Oscars. Was it Kevin Hart? All of a sudden, They want to go back on jokes he said, 22 years ago. Now he can't do the Oscars. This stuff lives on and on and on. You better think about that when you get ready to threaten somebody on Facebook. You better think about that when you get ready to talk about your exploits on Facebook. You better look at this mama right here and her daughter getting ready to go to prison over Facebook communications. And I believe what happened here was Facebook messaging. Like, you got to understand that there are no Facebook messaging does not protect you. You have no assumption of privacy in these things. You better know it, man. You better know that Facebook is not going to protect you. You better be using Telegram and WhatsApp and drum signals and carrier pigeon. And stop believing that you just talking and no one's watching, because they are watching. They're watching you. Thank you for that donation there. Appreciate that. They're watching everything you say. You can look at mama and her daughter facing charges with people combing through their personal communications between one another. Gio the Great said, I ain't gonna lie, Uncle Black Dragon. I deleted my Facebook when I became an executive at my company. Frost says, always use encrypted communication platforms only, like Telegram. You don't even want to use WhatsApp. It started off as the original encrypted communications, and Al-Qaeda and them were using WhatsApp. But then Facebook bought them and came over with Facebook's bullshit. And all of my conservative bros, all of my Republican bros that I knew, my conservative buddies deleted Facebook and then WhatsApp. My conservative bros that I know that are friends that are conservative cats, boom. Black Giant, I can't even understand why you're on Facebook. I can't understand why you're still using WhatsApp, man. I use Signal and Telegram. Why is that? Because they came out and said, whereas we're not going to de-encrypt your messages, but we're going to use our same Facebook bullshit to follow and market to you and all that. And I said, nah. So you bikers better know, if they're going to do that to a mother and her daughter about a funky abortion, they want a little kid to have a baby to make them feel right with God. Hey, that's your thing. Whatever. You're going to make a little kid have a baby. You make a 12-year-old have a baby. So you can feel, it ain't your body. It ain't coming out you, but you're going to put her in prison for it, and you're going to use her Facebook to do it. So if they'll do that to them, and I'm not trying to discuss anybody, however you feel about that is however you feel. But if you're a biker and they'll do that to them over that, just imagine what they'll do to you. So stay with the stupid social media stuff. I use social media to communicate to my followers. I do it as a show, as a profession. I hope that no one thinks that I use social media to tell the story of my life. Oh, me and my great nieces and grandnieces went to the lake Thursday. It's none of your damn business. I don't use social media to tell the story of my life. For me, social media is a profession. Think about it. And finally, my last thing today is Donald Trump. They FBI raided the man. Donald Trump versus FBI. So they went in to Donald Trump's place, his beautiful estate. what's it called? Mar-a-Lago. They went in your man spot and everybody's mad. The FBI's got death threats. And the FBI scared. I've never seen the FBI scared. Wow. The FBI scared? That's crazy. And they won't make a statement because they don't make statements. I bet you they'll make a statement. It's just a matter of time. They'll make a statement. But I'm just amazed at watching all these Republicans and stuff, like they're mad at the FBI. Finally! Like, oh, you guys just now realizing that this is a screwed up organization? So why should the FBI not be trusted? Well, just ask the Black Panthers. The murdered Black Panthers. I get a text message from one of my followers. I don't pray. This is one of my agnostic, non-God believers. I don't pray, Blood Dragon, ever. Even pre-ride meetings. We'll stand your butt over there in the corner, bro. We don't care. But I'm praying. I don't care about you. Jeez. But why should Republicans never just ask the Black Panthers that got assassinated by them guys? Them guys ain't never been no good. They ain't never been no, like, are we just now? Oh, gee, you can't trust when could you trust the FBI? Martin Luther King damn sure couldn't trust them. They had a dossier on my own mother. My own mother was a freedom fighter. She rode with people to help Black folks get the right to vote and all that kind of stuff. She had an FBI dossier. Are you serious? Like, when the hell you guys? Oh, you're surprised that the FBI did some shady shit. The FBI does not interfere before an election unless you're Hillary Clinton. And Comey comes out and announces an investigation 2 days before the election. Yeah! The good old FBI. And help cause her to lose the election. The good old FBI. The FBI doesn't interfere in pre-election. They'll never announce something before an election unless you're Donald Trump. And they show up at your house like a few months before you're going to announce for... Yeah! The good old FBI. You guys are kidding. The FBI doesn't assassinate anybody unless you're a Black Panther. Yeah! Herbert Hoover of the FBI didn't have people on their knees begging. He didn't have stuff over the Kennedys. No! Good old FBI. Oh, come on, man. Quit it. Quit it. Really? Now they're getting death threats? Come on, stop it, bro. FBI, man. You don't play with them cats, man. Do a little history on Woodrow Wilson, first one who weaponized the FBI against the citizens. Yeah, real life. FBI chased a distant relative like a dog and murdered him in Oklahoma. Oh, the FBI, that's really cool unless you happen to be Bonnie and Clyde and they gun your ass down. Or Pretty Boy Floyd or Machine Gun Kelly. You didn't even get a trial. You didn't even get to throw your hands up. Weren't they executing a court-ordered search warrant? They absolutely were. Oh, the FBI, they do great things unless you're Donald Trump, and they're spying on your election team And they lied to the FISA court to get. Yeah! Good old FBI. Remember that? They lied to the FISA court to tap Donald Trump's phones and stuff when he was running for office. They lied to the FISA court. They lied. Give me a break. The FBI left over 70 shots in a Black Panther's bedroom. Yeah, absolutely. Look at these guys. These guys know more about the FBI than I do. FBI chased a distant relative like a dog and murdered him in Oklahoma. Do a little history. Braxton said, I'm a young buck, and I know a bit more of this than most youngsters. Man, y'all better stop it, man. Somebody said you can't trust any alphabet organizations. One of the Panthers, Bobby Seale, was killed in 1988. Man, we could go back and back and back and back, man. We could go look at this forever. 20-year-old kid of the Black Panthers. 20-year-old, I think it was trying to say killed. 20-year-old kid of the Black Panthers killed in his bed of sleep in Chicago West Side back in the day. Man. And if you back your message up on a Google server, that can be subpoenaed too. All of it, man. So somebody said WhatsApp is also owned by First. Yeah, we said that. Oh, I'm just backing up. FBIs are the one who placed crack in an already twisted BC in 79 and 80. Oh, my God. The FBI are so good unless you want to run crack through black neighborhoods and destroy them. And machine guns, what was that organization that, machine guns are not made in the ghetto, but you can get one in the ghetto every day. Man, stop it, man. So now they're mad at what they did to Donald Trump. Man, FBI has been good for a lot of stuff around this country. Now the FBI is routing each other out. Rats on a sinking ship. Fred Hampton is a 20-year-old that was killed. That's who I was talking about. Thank you, Mr. Darden. I was brought into the FBI building at Daytona Beach when I was 18, threatened me hard, but they had nothing. That didn't mean you weren't doing anything, Goose. It's unbelievable what they are responsible for. Stop saying FBI, LOL. LOL, they're here now. Yeah, it's almost like if you say, what was that? The Candyman. If you say that 5 times in the mirror. Hope I didn't say it too many times. Matter of fact, Satanism is what? Peter, are you back on that? So anyway, I just thought I would bring up some FBI information you guys might not be. Why are the Republicans pissed off at the FBI right now? Because they're using some of their good old trickery on them now. Yes, Ronald, you're quite right. They're using some of the good old stuff on them right now. But the problem that they're having is Donald Trump happens to be pretty damn popular for enough of the segment of the population that you're going to have a problem. And one of those problems could be right now there's enough folks watching. Right now, you're going to have to be real careful and do everything by the book, or because there's enough people looking at them right now that care. Nobody cared about the boogeyman Black Panthers because they were a bunch of black guys. Everybody was already afraid of them. And nobody cared about the dope dealers and all of the BS that happened with them because they were bad guys. And not enough people cared about Hillary Clinton when Comey did that to her because she had so many people that hated her guts. But it was absolutely a travesty that he would come out a few days before her election with that BS that turned out to be nothing. But people were so tired of her by then, they was like, oh, not another thing. And now here they come on, and you got to wonder, like, who's pulling those strings, like but now here they come on the former president. But there's a lot of people watching this time. A lot of folks watching, and a lot of lone wolves and stuff out there. Who sends a death threat to the FBI? That's crazy. But it's coming. They got a whole bunch of people surrounded now by they're going to run out of Secret Service, and since they might run out quicker than they thought, because now they're actually subpoenaing the Secret Service phones. They just let the Secret Service know that they are under investigation. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys about that one. The Secret Service is under investigation for their cell phones, because they've been deleting text messages. And I don't mean just the ones from January 6th. They've been deleting text. Since when does a data transformation? What was it called? They were changing phones. So when does a data change become a data deletion? They know better than that. They know better. We're having a data deletion. In a data regression, data change, we decided to delete everything. No. But so now that they're turning on the Secret Service, they might not have enough Secret Service to protect all the people they want to protect. Now they're turning on each other. So anyway, you might want to look up the origin of Bloody Mary. Why would we want to do that? Okay, we'll look it up. We don't mind. We'll look it up. But anyway, those are the things I wanted to cover. Bloody Mary origin. I don't know why we're looking that up. She was the first ever Queen of England to rule in her own right, but to her critics, Mary the First of England has long been known only as Bloody Mary. This unfortunate nickname was thanks to her persecution of Protestant heretics, whom she burned at the stake in the hundreds. Wow. Ouch. Really? I didn't know that. There you go. Bloody Mary. So that's not even a good drink to drink. Huh? Wow. Burning people at the stake. Boy. Okay. I don't know why we looked this up, but there you go. I didn't know even that a Bloody Mary was actually named after somebody. There you go. That's why she was called Bloody Mary. She was the first ever Queen of England to rule in her own right, but to her critics, Mary the First of England has long been known only as Bloody Mary. The unfortunate nickname was thanks to her persecution of Protestant heretics, whom she burned at the stake by the hundreds. But is this a fair portrayal? Was she bloodthirsty? I guess we'll have to read that to know. There you go, folks. Somebody said look that up. We looked it up. We do what you guys ask. We don't have a problem here. Anyway, that's my time this morning. We're right at an hour. And I'm so glad to spend the time with you guys. Bloody Mary is a great breakfast drink. Somebody says Queen of England and Aleister Crowley looked like brother and sister. Yeah, you guys aren't nice today. What's up, MC? Good to see you guys. All right, my friends, I'm out. That's my 2 cents. Be careful out there. We know now this morning that we do not legally have the right to block intersections. All I can say is break into my pack and FAFO. F around and find out. 2, more on the unbelievable acquittal of the New Hampshire truck driver. We now know why he wasn't really acquitted of the drinking and driving aspects of it or being high because they couldn't really prove that he was. So the judge dismissed those charges. The Facebook is being used to prosecute a mother and a daughter. What does that mean to you? It means be careful on Facebook. Secret Service personnel phones are being used in criminal investigation against them. They're now finding what it feels like to have their secret messages and stuff used against them. And why Republicans or anybody shouldn't trust the FBI, I think we know why. Make sure to get my book. It's now you can get the audio version of Prospects Bible. You can get that if you'd like to have it at Audible. And if you use the description, the link in the description below, you will make some extra money for me if you buy Audible from that link. But if you wherever you go to get Prospects Bible on Audible, you don't have to use that link. Just get it. Cool. Am I still doing a giveaway? Yes, I'm doing a giveaway. I want to give away a book every day. So my next Prospects Bible will be audio book will be given away to the first person who can tell me why did Herbert Hoover claim there was no such thing as the mafia? Let's see if you get that one right. So that's who gets the next. We'll announce that tomorrow. Thanks, Black Dragon, for taking time out for us followers and for taking time out to support the page. To the followers, thank you guys all. And these are the final things that we always say when we're going out. Hit that like, share, and subscribe button. We'd actually appreciate it. Try to find one person to share this with. I'd really like that. Black Dragon Biker TV can be found on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. Black Dragon Biker TV is also on LinkedIn and here on YouTube. Order my books, Prospects Bible, Sergeant at Arms Bible, President's Bible, Public Relations Officer's Bible. Available on Amazon, Kindle, or at blackdragonsgear.com. If you need me to help you out with something and you need to talk to me by phone, hit me on my consultation app, clarity.fm/black-dragon. clarity.fm/black-dragon. Join our podcast daily, The Dragon's Lair Motorcycle Chaos, where you get your podcasts. And we have a Discord. Join us on the Discord link in the description box below. You can reach me at Black Dragon at blacksabbathmc.com, Black Dragon at blackdragonmc.com, and my phone number here in the studio is 404-692-0336. That's my 2 cents. Love to hear your 2 cents in the comment section below. Thanks for tuning in. Get skinny and also get the book. Bye-bye. See y'all tomorrow. We do this every single solitary day. So if you don't get our notification, know that we're doing this. So come check us out. Of your mighty motorcycle club by delving into the pages of Black Dragon's newest book, The President's Bible, Chronicle 1, Principles of Motorcycle Club Leadership. There you will learn to advance your skills in applying the 14 scientific principles of leadership similar to those taught to officers in the United States Naval Service. Available in hardcover, paperback, and ebook. Get yours today on Amazon, Kindle, or order it at your local bookstore. Order your autographed copy from blackdragonsgear.com. Be the best motorcycle club president you can be. Get the book.
Get Black Dragon's first book, The Prospects Bible, to learn how to join a motorcycle club. It has been an Amazon #1 bestseller for the past 7 years and is required reading for over 3,000 motorcycle clubs worldwide. This book is a must-have for new people venturing onto the motorcycle club set. It will teach you how to prepare yourself for service to the motorcycle club nation and show you how to qualify a motorcycle club to be worthy of your service. Available on Amazon, Kindle, and for order at your local bookstore. Get your autographed copy at blackdragonsgear.com. Be the best motorcycle club prospect you can be. Get the book.
You are fake news.
Black Dragon Biker News Network. Biker news you can trust.
Biker news you can trust.
Biker news you can trust. Biker news you can trust.
You are fake news.
Black Dragon Biker News Network. Biker news you can trust.
Biker news you can trust.
Biker news you can trust. Biker news you can trust.